Our next poet is Lara Gularte. She was nominated by Bitter Oleander Press to Best New Poets 2010. Find her poetic work depicting her Azorean heritage in Humberto Freitas' book Imaginarios Luso-Americanos y Azorianos. I don't even know. I'm sorry, I messed that one up. Gularte's work has appeared in Bitter Oleander, the Evansville Review, Waterstone Review, and more. She's the assistant poetry editor for Narrative Magazine. Please give her a warm welcome and applause.
Hi. Some of the poems that I'm reading represent my search for my Portuguese identity through the years. And I am a third and fourth generation. My great-grandmother came here as a mail-order bride to California and to look for gold. Well, she wasn't looking for gold, she was looking for a husband, actually. but the family Beneves, so I could be related to Paula Beneves, my mother's side of the family, they never found gold, but they became ranchers. And some of the poems relate to that experience in the collection. I have some of these poems in the Gouveia Brown book, Portuguese American Anthology, which is sitting out there at the table if you're interested. And here they are. This first one is called Lost Currents. The sea, the sky, the birthright of her being, stones that sound against water, against stone, heart of stone, how deep the stone's truth. The passion of a rising tide, wave after wave of memory, dream eye of wave, fish eye. Her people mapping sea routes, the Dharma rounding the Cape of Good Hope, lost in the folds of dark sea, exile of spirit, salt, the skin of another life, 1,000 histories, charts, scaled and starry to steer by. Bound. Where can I find a ship bound for the old country so I can travel back to a past I never lived, to the life of my great-grandmother, the woman who started my story? I twist her ring on my finger and make a wish. At the altar I kneel for prayer and host, ask for the body and blood, ask for the resurrection of her body. Let her be whole again. Let us find our way back again. Crocheted into the night, my Basavas talks to me in my language that she can't understand. She tells me she wants to go home. A ghost ship docks. It sits silent in the black water and waits for us to board. Her body merges with mine. We return. The island she remembers is dressed in crags and calderas. She says to me in broken English that when the lava stopped boiling, fish came to shore asking to be caught. Her hand fills with sky, breakers flower on the beach, stones show their faces. She helps me understand the waves, close and far, shows me how to pass through air, pass through water, and enter the salt. Finding the sacred. Born with question marks about my past, my people, I step inside myself and find running water, stones too heavy to bring up. These waters fill the banks with gold dust and granite, shining mica and quartz. No heaven here but root, alluvial and veined. Still I hear voices, see ghosts drift in and out, the drone of the river. In the old growth forest I listen for footsteps and hear birdsong. In this place of rest, this ancestral path of migration, the air pulses angelic from the throat of a sparrow. In my hands, the smell of prayer gathered in a bouquet of lavender. Madrone bark, red and gold, flames like candles. Crows on the church roof, a choir of ancestors chanting. These next two poems are my contribution to food and family. Mrs. Madruga prepares her granddaughter for hard times. Mrs. Madruga warns her granddaughter about the blurry sun, heavy and hungry, the scarred vegetables, the ragged turnips, and how the garden understands the natural cycle, the quiet of slaughter. She shows her granddaughter where to place the snares, to listen for the shuff of breath, how to get tender meat by relaxing the animal, stroking it from breastbone to pelvis till it slumps in her arms. She teaches her granddaughter how to kill, fast, painless, with the edge of an open hand, striking a blow to the bones linking back to head, the snapped neck. She guides the chore of pulling out the shivering insides, the tug of soft pelt, quick cuts, each joint giving way under the knife, her blood-soaked hands cleansed by lemon. All the cooking in one pot, herbs and water, onion tears, green pepper, bones bumping bones, the wild taste of meat changing into something sweet. A nicer poem and more vegetarian. Festo de Espíritu Santo. Maria Silvera studies the stained glass, the lambs and saints. She kneels and bows, the host fusing to her tongue, the holiness of her sex, a scent of blossoms. A day to be the heroine, to be the queen, Saint Isabel. Curls wound from rags cascade her back, a mother of pearl crucifix from Ava, the long gown of satin crocheted lace from her mother's garment bag. Beneath her dress, a field of flowers. She glides down the aisle and onto the street, a halo of glittering tiara and velvet cape, side maids and sign bearers, little queens wrapped in frothy lace with missing front teeth flank her. Along the boulevard they float like angels without bodies who wear white dresses. Sweet sellers, ladies of the altar society, offer malasadas, plump and sugared. Women balance baskets of sweet bread and sway to the music of the brass band. Then comes a sopas, mint-flavored stew with meat that falls easy from the bone. Find the little queen, tired from standing very still and the slow moving forward, asleep in her mother's arms, shadow of halo above her crown. Right before I went to the Disquiet workshop in Lisbon in 2011, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I was fortunate, I was, checking out all the cathedrals. A little scared there about my diagnosis, and I ran into Paula and Amy in one of those cathedrals, and that was a gift as far as I was concerned. And I also went to the Lisbon Cathedral, and this is Sede Lisboa, July 2011. She has traveled the long distance without gifts and no star to follow. Inside, saints open and close doors. Wavering light slants through the rose window, falls to the floor. The smell of incense, the touch of holy water, and she can't stop her inner trembling. In St. Vincent's Chapel, two ancient ravens hold the black of deepest ocean. In the sanctuary, she turns her back to dying candles and crosses the empty rows. The air is heavy. She wants the bread, the wine, the miracles. And I do love Lisbon, and this is my Lisbon poem. Lisboa, the white city. The Tagus River brings home the lost ones through rack and conch messages of salt. The wind carries time around and past, raises up dust. When white Frisia leans against stained glass, the Fadista sweeps heat down the boulevards. Fados in several languages whisper the exchange rate of illumination, blinding glint and glare. The glow seizes albescent patinas as specters buff the domed church, and ethers rise up with fish eyes. On the Avenida de Liberdade, people call out for Santo Antonio, discover lost things. Find the Madonna down a quiet alley. She stands on a gate, uses aquamarines to cut the air, then hymns the sky with gold thread. And I think this sums it up for my journey in looking for my Portuguese identity and exploring my family roots. What matters in the morning? When light fills my window, an overflow of sun across my bed. I watch the mountains move closer, coming home with the daylight. A monarch flutters into the garden, rests on a hollyhock, peacefully opens its wings. I think I see something shimmer between the corn rows. It's my father, in old shoes and coveralls, hoeing, tracking weeds along snail roads, standing up straight, head bent and focused on the endless furrows of his 86 years. The sun shines greenly on his hands as he listens to roots inch deeper into earth, watches baby spiders hatch, flex their legs. When he sees me at the window, I hold my hand up to wave. He holds his. We are palm to palm.
We saw each other trip to Fatima.